Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be the fourth installment in my beauty history series, and it's going to be the first time we talk about someone that's still alive, of course, as the title of this video suggests. That is going to be Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm sure most of you know who she is, but if you want to know a little bit more about her, then stay tuned. Now, it would have been a quite obvious choice instead to carry on reviewing well-established brands such as Yves Saint Laurent or Christian Dior, but I wanted to switch it up a little, and I wanted to review Anastasia Beverly Hills as a brand and tell you a little bit of history about her as a person and about her daughter, because this brand has been growing right in front of our eyes. I remember a couple of years ago when they were only available in the UK on Cold Beauty and they only had eyebrow products yet. And I remember I used to purchase their eyebrow pencil there because that was basically the eyebrow pencil you had to have, and the brand has grown so much since, and I feel like they're still growing quite significantly, and I feel like it's really different to talk about someone like Coco Chanel or Estee Lauder, who both died quite long ago, and talk about someone who is still with us. You can go on their Instagram and check their life, check what they're doing, and you can go and Google how their house looks like. And basically I wanted to show you the significance of devotion and motivation and hard work, because not just hundreds of years ago, but today you can still build up a company within 10-20 years from basically nothing if you have the talent, have the motivation and the hard work, and of course have a bit of luck as well. On the other hand, this was also so far the most challenging beauty history video to put together, because there's hardly any information out there about Anastasia. In every single interview she gives the exact same answers, the exact same stories, and we don't even know which year she was born in. It's really hard to get any information about her. So I'm really sorry if today's video is going to be super short. I'm gonna try to spice it up a bit with some other information about the brand, but there's really hardly anything we know about her. We do know that she was born in Constanța, Romania in 1957 or 1958 on the name Anastasia Balamaci. And we do know that back in Romania she studied history and architecture, and she became fascinated with Leonardo da Vinci's golden ratio, which she used in creating the method behind the structure of the perfect eyebrow shape. And in the interviews she gave, she explained that when she was studying art, her teacher explained to them the importance of the different expressions you can create simply by using different shapes for the eyebrows, and this made her realize how important eyebrows are in the overall look of the face. She got married quite young, when she was either 20 or 21, in 1978 to a ship's captain called Victor Soare, and this is when she changed her name to Anastasia Soare. And we don't exactly know why, but once when Victor's ship was in Italy, he decided to visit the American embassy over there and file for asylum. And once his application was approved, Victor moved to America. However, Anastasia and their daughter Claudia had to stay in Romania until 1989, when they were finally allowed to join him over in the States. Now, 30 years ago in Eastern Europe, it wasn't too common to be able to speak English, and Anastasia was one of those people who didn't speak any English at all. So whilst waiting to be able to join Victor in America, Victor suggested to her to go and study to become an esthetician, so that when she goes over to the States, she can start working as an esthetician, because that was a job where you're not really required to speak English. And she said after arriving to Los Angeles, despite not speaking English, it really didn't take her a long time to find a job as an esthetician. Now, you probably noticed that I called her daughter Claudia, and the reason for that is that simply in Eastern Europe, you're not allowed to choose whatever name you want. There is a book and you will need to choose a name from that book because those are the authorized names that you can choose for your child. And Anastasia knew she wanted to call her daughter Norvina because this was a reference to Anastasia's father's name. However, it wasn't on the list of authorized names. And when she was in the hospital to give birth, the lady next to her called her daughter Claudia, and she basically decided to pick the same name on a whim. But despite her official name being Claudia, since her birth, everyone always called her Norvina. And if you go online to any of her social media handlers, she always calls herself Norvina as well. Unfortunately, after arriving to America, Anastasia's marriage very quickly fell apart and they decided to divorce in 1994. So after 5 years of arriving to America, she became a single mom on a different continent, working as an esthetician, and I'm sure this was very, very challenging to her at first. As she was working as an esthetician, obviously she was working with women's faces and she became more and more fascinated with eyebrows. As I said before, she was studying art in school and Leonardo da Vinci's golden ratio stuck with her and she wanted to apply this to eyebrows, and her method is basically that your brow should start where your nostrils are. The highest point of the brow should be in line with your pupils, and your brows should end in line with the outer corner of the eye. Now, the fascinating thing about it is that if you Google how to get the perfect eyebrows, this is the method that you will find. It's so widely used now, and I personally had no idea that it originated from Anastasia until I started researching for this video. Whilst working in the beauty salon, she decided to speak to her manager and ask them to let her have her own room where she would be doing only eyebrows using the method mentioned, but her manager, unfortunately or fortunately, thought that it was a silly idea and women wouldn't pay to get their eyebrows done. So Anastasia decided to take a huge step, leave her job and rent out her own salon in Beverly Hills where she would be doing eyebrows. And Anastasia said that when she first rented out the salon, even the landlord didn't believe that she would be able to pay the rent from doing only brows in her salon. But the day she opened, the landlord saw the huge line waiting outside to get their eyebrows done, and they never questioned again how she will be able to pay the rent. So by 1997, only after 8 years of arriving to America, she already had her own beauty salon in Beverly Hills on Bedford Drive. And considering that I came to the UK 10 years ago and I know exactly how hard it is to build up your life from complete zero, I think it's absolutely amazing that within 8 years she was able to establish herself as a beautician and open her own salon in the middle of Beverly Hills. And this was basically the reason I really wanted to make today's video, because talking about Coco Chanel or Estee Lauder, you're talking about someone 100 years ago. You talk about this American success story and you almost feel like things like that cannot happen anymore. But then you look at Anastasia and she arrived to America only 30 years ago and her career really started off about 20 years ago. And look at her now, her net worth is over $1 billion. And she was just this single mother from Romania working as an esthetician who didn't speak any English. It can really happen to anyone if you're in the right place, in the right time. you have some luck and you have a lot of hard work and motivation and you're willing to make that next step that you need, it can really happen to any of us. You just need to keep pushing. According to Anastasia, some of her first clients were Naomi Campbell and Cindy Crawford, but the real breakthrough came when Oprah decided to invite her to her talk show and let her do her eyebrows in live TV. I'm not gonna insert clips from this video here because I don't want to get demonetized, but I am going to link it down below, so if you're interested you can have a look. She soon started doing the eyebrows of some very, very famous people, like I said, Naomi Campbell, Cindy Crawford, Oprah, soon joined by Jennifer Lopez, Victoria Beckham, Michelle Obama, and all of the Kardashians. I'm gonna link a video down below where she's doing the eyebrows of Kim Kardashian. You can see how busy the place is behind them. It's absolutely crazy. And interestingly enough, at the time she already had her own products in the store. So before the products we have from her today, she already had her own mascaras and eyeshadows. She was always really a salesperson. She loved creating her own products and using them on her clients. She also got a display for her products in Nordstrom very early on, so she was able to sell her products over there as well, which of course brought even more awareness to her brand. I'm gonna also leave a link to a video Norvina uploaded before, because if you guys didn't know, she actually had her own YouTube channel before where she was planning on uploading videos of her creating the new products for Anastasia Beverly Hills, and sadly she didn't carry on uploading, so I think we really missed out on some great videos. I would have been very interested personally in seeing how they come out with the new products, but in the video she uploaded, she talked about the time when her mom was on Oprah, and she said that before that show, her mom already had a 2 weeks wait list, but after the show, the phone didn't stop ringing for 2 weeks and the wait list went up to 6 months. So people were actually waiting to get their eyebrows done from Anastasia for 6 months. I think that's crazy. I can't imagine waiting to get my eyebrows done for 6 months because I want that person so much. But this just shows how quickly she became famous after being on Oprah. In the same video, Norvina also talks about working in her mom's beauty salon. She was the receptionist, and she said that she basically never got any break. She had to sit on the reception the whole day, and for years and years she was living on pizza because that was the only thing that she could hide under the desk and just have a slice quickly when no one was watching. I think it's so interesting to see how hard they were both working to get where they are today. In 2006, Sephora started selling Anastasia's brow products, and in 2007, Ulta joined in, so at this point the company was very fastly expanding. In 2012, Norvina came up with the idea that they should start an account on Instagram, and I think we all know how that turned out. Within 5 years, they became the most followed beauty company on Instagram. And quite honestly, when I think about Anastasia Beverly Hills, I think about people sharing their pictures on Instagram of the makeup looks they created, tagging on Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina herself. I think about people receiving these amazing PR packages from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I think they became this big because they took advantage of social media and people sharing and resharing and building an online community. And something that I only found out when I started researching for this video is that Anastasia herself has only ever been in charge of the brow products, and she only started doing color products such as eyeshadow palettes, blushes, highlighters, etc. because Norvina wanted to. So Norvina is in charge of all the color products and Anastasia herself only looks after the brow products. Quite honestly, I always thought that Norvina only did her Norvina palette and then she came out with her own line of products under the name of Norvina. I had no idea that every single eyeshadow palette was made by Norvina. They had nothing to do with Anastasia. But once again, if you would like to find out more about this, I'm gonna link that video down below where Norvina talks about her time in her mom's beauty salon and the kind of work she puts into creating the eyeshadow palettes. And just to give you an idea of how quickly Anastasia Beverly Hills as a brand is still growing, it was only in 2015, 5 years ago, when they came out with the contour kits and the liquid lipsticks. And 2016 when they came out with the Mario palette and the Modern Renaissance palette, which I feel like are even today the two most loved Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes. It was 2017 when they came out with the Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit, which was again a quite iconic product, but I feel like the most hyped up and craved after product they have ever created came in 2018, which was the limited edition Ambrasi highlighter. And after having so much success collaborating with Mario, Nicole and Ambrasi, who is by the way one of Norvina's best friends, in 2019 they came out with collaborations such as the Jackie Aina, the Carly Bible or the Alyssa Edwards palette. And earlier on in 2020, based on the success of the previous Ambrasi collaboration, they decided to bring back her highlighter now as a permanent item, and she also came out with her own eyeshadow palette with them. And just something very interesting, completely not makeup related, but I found it when I was doing my research for this video. There is an actor called Sebastian Stan. He was playing Bucky Barnes, Captain America's best friend in the Marvel movies. He is actually Anastasia Soare's godson. He is also from Constanta, Romania. I had no idea he was Romanian or that they were connected by any way. They are not blood related, but she became his godmother because they were very good friends with Sebastian's mom. And that's it for today, guys. I really do not have more information about Anastasia Beverly Hills. Like I said before, the company is still growing. Norvina is in charge of most of their products at this point, and I think Anastasia is just really enjoying life. If you guys have ever seen their Instagram, you know that they are doing the most amazing Halloween parties in Beverly Hills every year, and I think it's amazing what she achieved within 30 years of arriving to America. I can only hope ever becoming as successful as she is, but yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestion who should we do next, definitely leave a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I would love to have you here. And until next time, take care of yourself. I will see you very soon.